Over the past decade, gaming entertainment has steadily made its way into the mainstream. Esports has become a common phrase, and there are dozens of games designed specifically around competitive multiplayer that bring in millions of viewers worldwide with multi-million-dollar prize pools. But games have always been competitive. The introduction of a score counter on old school arcade cabinets transformed what was initially intended as a single player experience into a competition. Competing for the high score not only gave you another reason to play your favorite games, but if you were lucky enough to have a top score, you got what every arcade patron wanted: bragging rights. Since the early days, competition has been at the core of gaming. However, as games advanced and arcades dwindled, so too did the simple score counter. Games could now tell complex stories, and getting a high score wasn't the only objective. That competitive nature that was initially built into the very fabric of the game was removed, but it never left the players. There's a community of highly skilled players who take these games to the next level. They don't compete for high scores or in multi-million-dollar tournaments. Instead, they compete for time.
Right when he starts firing to try to back boost me, the double. Body armor. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm getting there on the perfect line. Look at the pace. 50, 49, 47, baby!
Oh! It's over. Ocarina of Time is dead. Any percent is done. That's it.
I got it! Let's go! Yes! So that is actually encounterless palace skip.
Although I'm sure people would race each other long before the advent of the internet, speedrunning as we know it wouldn't really take off until the 1993 release of id Software's Doom. Doom pioneered a number of advancements in the gaming industry. It helped define the FPS genre, paved the way for digital distribution and online multiplayer, had modding support, and because it allowed users to record replays of their playthrough, it gave birth to speedrunning. Speedrunning is the act of playing a game as quickly as you possibly can by any means necessary. Although achieving the fastest time is always at the core of a speedrun, some runs are defined by additional limitations or objectives that the runners subject themselves to, such as obtaining every collectible or playing with some sort of handicap. Among these categories, the most common is any percent. Any percent gives the runner one simple goal: beat the game as fast as possible. Outside of using external cheat devices, there are no limitations to what the runner can and can't do. These runs are often filled with precise maneuvers and glitch execution in order to break the game wide open, sometimes completely bypassing sections of the game normally required in an effort to save time. Let's sit down with some of these speedrunners and get a better understanding of what it is they do and why they do it.
My entire life I've wanted to entertain people, and whether that was through mostly music, because I was a music person growing up. I graduated with a music degree in college, and I also played Zelda every day too, like these old Nintendo 64 Zelda games. I was like, there's people online that can make a full-time job out of playing these old Zelda games, plus they're able to entertain people in a creative way that they want. And I was like, dude, that is like the coolest thing ever.
Well, I've always loved casually playing games. I always loved being through the games 100%. But I've done it so many times. I've played the game so many times. I know it by heart. Basically, I just thought by speedrunning, you're taking a game that you really love doing, love playing, and you're beating it with a different goal and purpose, because it's always great to 100% games if you're the kind of person that likes to do that, because I personally like to do that as well. But eventually, you want to try and maybe play the game at a different angle, and speedrunning was that different angle for me.
I'd gotten bored of just playing things like Overwatch and competitive shooters. That had been the dominant thing in the game market since 2005. Since Halo 2 really came out, that game just made multiplayer online more or less a necessity for any game that had a hint of competitive design sort of added to it. So the team-based aspect had grown old for me, and I said, well, why don't I just compete against myself? Because that's really what you're doing with speedrunning, is just competing against yourself.
Originally started off years ago, with this game of Refund. I didn't even know there was a speedrunning community for it. It was just something that I like to do, just every now and then, just play through it, try and beat my time. But I was really bad. I had no clue about anything. I didn't know like that even there was communities and stuff for this at the time. Then like years later, I came across one.
The drive for me is definitely that competition of being able to beat someone and like someone being able to beat me. But it's also because I want to have a good time.
The biggest thing is that I was able to turn the speedrunning into a full community of people that I know and I love, and it's really cool to be able to go live and just have a bunch of people come in immediately and like say, hey, like how's it going, all this stuff. Like that's probably, as cheesy as it sounds, that's probably the biggest drive that I have right now, because it's, I mean, yeah, I have an income from it, yeah, I get to play Zelda for a living, but it's really cool to be able to see a lot of people that I can relate to in the same way. If
you really like a game and you want to replay it, you've beaten the game once, so you already have like the goal, quote unquote, finished. So you more or less have to invent your own. And what easier goal to invent than, well, let's see how fast I can do this?
I'd say initially I was just really bored, had nothing else to do, so and I thought it'd be fun, got into it, started improving, and then now it's like addiction, I guess. I don't really I find it fun still. Like I find like Odyssey's movie particularly like really addicting. Like it's really fluid as well, and there's like really like fun ways to move around, I guess.
The speedrunning community is very supportive. If you ask questions, they will help you. If you need help on a trick, chances are someone will link you with a guide, link you with a tutorial, or maybe even help you one-on-one. We're all a very supportive community. We all support those who achieve any time, really. Even if it's 3 hours off of world record, but it's your first run, we still celebrate it.
Most people will be like, we'll want to help you out. You can go to the Discord and ask questions where you want to learn, which is a great thing. Like it's definitely helped me and definitely helped like thousands of people.
There are great things and great people in the community that are more than happy to help.
And even if it's different games, like we all have the same purpose to speedrun, to get world record, and maybe just to have fun. Some people don't even do it for the competitive aspect. Some people just do it to have fun, which is definitely one thing that I recommend to anyone who wants to speedrun, that at the end of the day, they're having fun and they're bonding with the community that they're in. And that's what I think speedrun's all about.
Speedrunning has grown exponentially over the past decade, and it's become its own genre of entertainment online. The grassroots community behind it has always been welcoming and incredibly generous with time, knowledge, and even monetarily. Twice a year, speedrunners from around the globe gather for charity marathons called Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick, respectively. These events last a full week and consist of back-to-back speedruns performed in front of both a live audience and thousands of viewers online. GDQ often acts as a gateway into the community for a lot of people, and the exposure it gets every year helps introduce new people into the fascinating world of speedrunning.
GDQ is amazing.
Going to GDQ changed everything. It was such a different experience because you have thousands and thousands of speedrunners and gamers all appearing at one event.
It's similar to a sleepover that you'd have with your friends back in 2000 whatever.
The last two GDQs that have happened, both events have raised $3 million in charity over the course of 1 week. And it just really shows how powerful like anything can be. Something as simple as video games, speedrunning, can raise a bunch of money in charity.
I definitely recommend it to so many people because I was kind of skeptical at first to go because I didn't know as many people, but everyone is just so friendly at these events. It's amazing.
It's just such a satisfying experience. It's just really great being able to come to this event that happens every year consistently and being able to meet like all of your friends.
The last two GDQ events have raised over $3 million each to directly benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation and Doctors Without Borders, respectively. Speedrunning may never be as popular as other traditional esports, but these runners are just as dedicated to their craft, and the skill required to push a game forward even by just a fraction of a second can sometimes take a lifetime to achieve. In a world where there is constant news reporting of the potential harm of violent video games, gaming in general can often have a negative stigma attached to it. But in contrast to that, the speedrunning community is a prime example of the positivity and the good that can come by simply playing a video game. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed watching, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more of my videos, consider subscribing. One last huge thank you to all the speedrunners who are willing to sit down with me for anywhere from 15 minutes to over an hour and just talk about your hobby. It was a lot of fun, and without you, this video would not have been possible. I'll leave links to all their Twitch channels in the description down below. Please go and check them out. Once again though guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.